Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be showing you how I finesse a wig because I'm still trying to work on my technique. But this is how I did it and they turn out fine. So I like to use the thick elastic band wig caps, not the mesh ones because I have a very small head. This canvas head is actually 23 inches, just to show y'all how small my head is. So I like to use these because the elastic band is really thick and it fits really snug on my head. And so if I just want to put the wig on without securing it, I can do that and it'll actually stay on my head without me having to add any glue or anything. So the number one thing is that a lot of y'all may know is that when you are laying down your lace fronts or closure, however you want to lay it flat onto the cap, you want to make sure that there's no bumps or creases when you're pinning down your closure onto your cap. So as you can see, I'm making sure there's no bumps or anything, that it's pulled pretty snug before I pin it down, before I actually start sewing the closure onto the wig cap. Okay, let us pray that I can get this instructional video together, because describing the sewing part can be a little confusing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to sew, nope, that's not right. I'm actually going to sew from underneath the cap first. And as you can see, I'm not taking it that far into the cap. Some people like to take it like a centimeter into the cap, but I kind of like it like a half a centimeter, or like right on the borderline of the cap where I actually start my first, where I stick it the first time. So as you can see, I come from underneath, and then as I'm threading it, before I even started the actual sewing of the cap, I thread it a couple of times throughout the cap and the needle. Throughout. Oh my goodness. Okay. I am trying to secure the lace and the cap together. So if I decide to color it, which I am, when I decide to color it, when I'm washing it, because I'm very rough in my wigs, when I'm wearing it, it is not going to come loose or detach from the cap, because it's very annoying to have to re-secure your lace on a cap, or have to re-sew a track or your closure onto your cap because you were too rough with it, and I usually do not like to do that. So I like to thread it through a couple of times. I do the loop around method, where you take the thread and you loop it around the needle and then pull the needle completely through. I do that a couple of times, and I also make knots. Like I'll pull the needle all the way through and then knot it I'll make a loop with the thread and then knot it within the loop. Because if you just do the loop around the method with your needle, it'll come loose. It'll come loose if you pull it hard enough, because I like to tug on my wigs, and that has happened a lot of times. So you want to make sure you actually do knots, like actual knots with your needles. So as you can see, if you're looking closely enough, I'll do a close-up later on in the video. As I'm sewing it, I'm actually doing the sewing kind of close together with the closure, and that just helps to secure it. Some people, they like to space, I'm saying a lot. They like to space, they like to put big gaps in between when they're sewing it, but it's all whatever you prefer, especially if you're like on a time crunch. Me personally, because I do a lot with my wigs, I don't like a lot of space in between the weaving, and also when you're weaving it, you can see. Also, when I'm weaving it, I like to knot as I go. So this hair is from Klaiyi, and I actually really do like this company. I've done videos with their hair before, and from root to tip, I feel like it's good quality hair. The wefts in itself are very thick. They're double weft, and they take the color very, very well. And at first I wasn't sure if I was going to actually color this hair, but you'll see later in the video that I did. I just lifted it. I didn't put any box color or, you know, Wella color on it. I just used some, so I just lifted it with some bleach and that was it. So to start with my wefts, I'm actually starting from the sides. This is not Bible. Everybody has their own way of making their wigs. Me personally, the way my head is shaped and the way I function, this is the way I like to do my wigs. So I start from on the perimeter. I cover the perimeter first, then I slowly start to cover in the center. So I take my weft and I start it from the closure, the edge of the closure, and then I loop it around. I make my knots, double knots, triple knots, so it doesn't come loose. And then I start to sew the actual weft onto the cap. And I do it on the border of the cap. So with this particular cap, the thick band cap, you don't actually have to go all the way through the bottom of the cap. You can actually go just real shallow on the top surface of the cap. If you're using it, you'll see like the cap has like 3 layers. So you have the cap and it's like around the actual band with inside the cap. So if you prefer, you can actually just sew with on the top part of the material without going throughout the entire cap. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it does save time. And at the end of the day, it doesn't come loose. Like these caps are pretty durable. So as I'm sewing, as you can see, I'm actually taking the thread and putting it behind the needle and I'm pulling it. And this helps with it bulking up. And like I said before, I don't put a lot of space in between my my stitching. And for me, I just feel like that helps the security of the wigs, especially like I said before, if you're really rough with them like I am. So I think that's, I don't know if I explained that right. I really don't know. Let it marinate a little bit. Let it sit overnight. These little instructions that I'm giving, because this is my first time giving instructions on how to make a wig. So I know there's like a whole bunch of other better ways you can do it, but this is how I've been making my wigs, and every day I'm improving. So if I do another video, it's definitely not going to be like this, but for now, this gets the job done. Now, I'm at the end of my row with the weft, and instead of cutting my thread and cutting the actual weft, I'm going to just loop the weft over. I'm going to flip it over, flap it over so I don't cut it, and I am going to repeat the same method. And as I am trying to sew the track down, the weft down, to keep it from bulking up as much as possible, I'm actually holding it down with one finger and then sewing it onto the wig cap so it doesn't like bulk up, because when you're wearing your wig, you don't want the border to look like all big and poofy. So I'm holding it down, pulling it as taut as I can with one finger, and then sewing it with the next, making sure that I do my knot so it doesn't bulk up after I release my finger. So I'm doing that. And also, if you are using hair, like bundled hair, I don't care how expensive or cheap it is, don't be wasteful with it. Like, save your coins, sis. Like, try to not cut as many tracks as possible. Now, if you balling like that, you can just be cutting tracks, and so you can have like a slick down look, then go for it. I mean, like, do what you know. But for me, I don't care how many tracks I get, how many wig videos I gotta make. I'm gonna try my best. If I can avoid cutting it, I'm gonna avoid cutting it, because you can always reuse it. And also, sis, like, if you want to make a different type of wig, like you can just cut it off and like just sew a whole new wig with the track, or you can just put it in the install. So just try to avoid being wasteful with it, or you might want to give it to your friend, I don't know, but just try to avoid being wasteful and try your best not to cut the wefts. But that's just my opinion, that's just my preference. I mean, like, if you live and die by cutting the track, then I mean, like, cut away, boo. But I'm sewing it the exact same way I've been sewing it the other row, and I'm just going back and forth and trying to keep the needle and track intact so I don't have to cut my thread as much. And then also, if you make your thread long enough to where you can start your second row without cutting it, it will further secure your wig, because every time you cut that thread and you have to make another knot, you are running the risk of that knot getting loose, or like just breaking the whole vibe that you got going on of the sewing and the rhythm and all that kind of stuff. I know I sound crazy, but I think you kind of understand what I'm saying. Like, if you can do your second row without cutting your string, then that is great. Try not to cut the string just because you're starting another row, another track. Yeah, because every time you do that, it might come loose. It just might come loose, or you're wasting thread. So, like, try to make your thread long enough. And I do mine arm's length. Like, when I'm pulling my thread out, I pull it all the way to the furthest my arm can stretch, and then that's how far I pull it. Oh yeah, I forgot to film it. I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. But this is the 20 volume developer and the powder bleach that I use to lift the hair. And this is how the hair came out. I sectioned the hair in the front, and I colored that the first sitting session. And but I didn't put color on the rest of the wig. I just sectioned off the first part first and lightened that. And then the second time I colored it, I put it all over the hair, including the part that I previously colored. And of course, every time you color your bundles or your wigs, you want to make sure you sit it in conditioner overnight, so you lessen the damage. And now I'm just taking heat protectant and a curling iron and going through the wig to give you some cute little curls. The curls be sloppy, but it doesn't matter because I'm gonna run my fingers through it anyway. So yeah, that's it. That's how I did this look. Super easy. And I apologize for not filming me coloring it. I swear I really thought that I had the camera rolling, but I didn't. But like, I just need to get my pregnancy brain together. So yeah, that's it. Okay, so this part I'm going to do like a light install. Like, these are installs that I do if I'm taking pictures or if I'm just going out to eat. These are installs that I do when I'm not even going to wear a wig for the whole day. I just need like a quick wig to look cute, and then I'm going to snatch it off as soon as I walk through the door. So for this video, I am showing you how I do that. So I just slap on a wig cap. I do not glue down the wig cap, but I make sure I put makeup on it because I don't want it to show through. And the brown wig caps look way too brown when I put on my wigs. So I just put my foundation powder on there. See, you can't see it. You can't clock it, sis. So I'm doing that. Slapping this wig on. And right now, if I wanted to, I could literally just use like some styling foam and put down some baby hairs and then call it good, because the wig is secure enough so it won't fall off. But if I know I'm going to be like running out and about, I will do a light spritz of some Got2b hairspray, and excuse me, and excuse me. So I'll put it on my forehead, secure it down, let it dry up really good, and then I'll do another layer on the other part of the wig, like on the top part of the lace. So it's like a little Got2b spritz sandwich. So I'll put the spray down, lay it down, let it dry because it dries up pretty fast, and then as you can see, I'll spray it again, but on the actual other side of it. So there's glue on both sides of the lace, and it doesn't go anywhere. It stays pretty secure, and it's no worries. And it's super fast. It's way faster than making a ball cap and using the Gossipy gel, getting the blow dryer, drying that down, and then using the spritz. Like, I'll do that if I know if I'm going to wear a wig for overnight or for more than one day. But if I'm just doing it real quick, like for a video like this, or some pictures, or just going out to eat, then I just use this method. So I'm just taking a rat tail comb, pressing it down, making sure the long hair and the baby hair stay separated. And during this time, I haven't used an ounce of heat on securing the wig. Like, I just don't use my blow dryer because it just dries up so fast. Just keep going back and forth, securing it down, pressing it down. Be patient with yourself. It also helps if you already have the baby hairs pre-cut. It saves you time, because if you're like me, a mommy on the go, or right now I'm kind of crunched for time because I'm trying to squeeze in the video before I start getting my night sickness. So it really does help, and I don't have to worry about, you know, the wig slipping back or anything like that while I'm like trying to film or take pictures or whatever. So I'm just using like a little bottle of styling foam just to further finesse this hairline. And this color looks amazing, and I didn't even do a lot cutting the baby hairs. I just cut it pretty short, and like an inch or half an inch short. And then I'm just taking my little brush, smoothing down, and then I just take something that's skinny enough to cover the border of my hairline, and then I let it sit for about 20-30 minutes, and then it's good to go. So if this is the final look for the hair, I'm probably gonna do more to it because I can, and I feel like the hair can take it, because I lifted it a total of it was 3 sessions, no, 2. I did 2 sessions lifting it, and I let the and I let it sit with the bleach powder on for 40 minutes a piece. Each time I lifted it, I washed and conditioned it with the Shimmer Lights shampoo, and I let it sit in the conditioner. So what I did was I let it sit in this conditioner for between 3 to, I'm sorry, I'm running out of breath. Like, I always run out of breath now. Like, I don't know what this baby's doing to me, but what did I do? I lost my train of thought. Okay, so I let it sit in this conditioner for a few hours, and then I would rinse it out, and then I would put it in regular conditioner for the wig to sit overnight. So the wig wouldn't get fried, it would stay healthy and keep its luster. So, because, like, you know how it is when you're lifting hair, especially when it's coming from black to this, it can damage the hair if you really don't take care of it. So trust me, because I have ruined plenty of bundle doing this kind of stuff. So yeah, this is the hair. I really like it. I might backdoor and do a quick video on how my pregnancy is going, since I have the energy right now. I don't want to like waste the makeup, the hair, and the energy, and like try to see if I can do it tomorrow, because I might not be able to. I might be too fatigued, or I might be sick tomorrow. So I'm gonna go ahead and backdoor and do that video. Stay tuned, I'm gonna get that to you, and I hope this video was helpful on you making your next hair purchase. Until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.